Hey, it's your boy Lionel, class of 2009, back with another episode of PV versus everybody. And listen, my energy not as high tonight. My energy is not as high tonight. I can't even lie to you. We kind of alluded to it on Sunday. We had a whole conversation already. We already talked about the football team. Listen, my guys are good. My guys understand what happened, the ball that they dropped. Like we done had the conversations. They're good. They're focused. They're mentally ready. They're prepared for the rest of the season, for the next 11 games that's coming up. I'm not worried about them no more. All right, we done dealt with that. We didn't talk about that. But now we got to have a real conversation. And I'm really sad. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I'm actually sad. Like I was more bothered, I think, before, but now I'm kind of like sad because I'm always really. I feel like sometimes you yourself you can navigate through stuff, but it's not about you, right? It's not about what you can do and what you can handle, what you can get by, right? It's about just the regular random person. That's really what it's about. It's about the random regular person who don't got no connections, who don't know nobody, who ain't got no number in their phone. That's really who it's about, right? So I'm kind of moved from bothered more to like I'm really more sad. I ain't gonna lie. That's kind of how I feel right now because it's like there's a disconnect. Like there's a big disconnect right now. But listen, let me take my time, okay? Listen, the calling numbers below. You can call in, have a conversation. First and foremost, listen. Let me get to it. Let me get my slides up because listen. My slides ain't even up. Slides ain't even ready. They'll let you know right there already. You know what I'm saying? First and foremost, I want to let y'all know. Obviously, it's PV versus everybody. If you're not following us on Instagram, if you're not following us on Twitter, make sure you're following us over on both of those platforms, right? Because we're doing some big things, got some things going. My man Janarius is man. He's a dope guy, man. He's reached out. He's gonna bring his skill to the PV versus everybody platform. I so appreciate him for that. So y'all gonna start seeing a lot more stuff, especially on Instagram, on Twitter as well, man. So we've about to start doing some big things over there. Like and subscribe to the channel. You know what I'm saying? Show some love. Listen, we building. Y'all need to go and like the channel. Cause listen, I know my energy low right now. It's not because of the football team though. Don't take it. Listen, it ain't got nothing to do with the team. They good. We straight. Like we here. Okay. It ain't about them, right? This is about us. Okay. This is about us. It ain't nothing about them. They good. They straight. It's about us, right? So but like and subscribe to the channel because I need y'all to be on this train. Right now, I'm on a bandwagon with my feet kicked up. I'm sitting real comfortable because boys done left the bandwagon and I'm happy. I'm like, listen, I got space now. It's like getting that early morning flight and ain't nobody on there. It's like you feel so good, right? So that's how I feel right now riding. So listen, sit back, get comfortable. This movie about to be real good. So go and subscribe to the channel so you can catch the movie. Goal is 600 subs. We're almost there, right? We've been building step by step, right? You know what I'm saying? And of course, I got to remind y'all that PV Fantasy Football is on this year, right? On tomorrow, right? We're going to talk about that first week, that fantasy, and see who won that first week of fantasy football, man. We building week after week this year, right? Until we get the ultimate champion at the end of the year. So we're going to see how you guys did on tomorrow, right? You know what I'm saying? We're not talking about that today, but on tomorrow, we're going to see how you guys did. And obviously, I got to remind you, doing big things, man. The 1876 Alliance is here. Talking about NIL, talk about, getting out here and connecting all of our athletes across all sports with opportunities that they can have to use their name, image, and likeness. Listen, is here, right? The 1876 Alliance. So just want to let you guys know about that. You'll be getting more information into the future as we do more things regarding that and roll those things out. But listen. You need a place. you need to be comfortable right now, right? You need to be comfortable right now as we have this conversation. And some of y'all might not be comfortable because y'all ain't got y'all own home yet. Okay, so listen, my boy Jeff McKissick can help you out. All right, because you need to be comfortable for this conversation. You can be comfortable when you in your own home. All right, he's a Texas licensed officer with Fairway Independent Mortgage Company. He'll guide you seamlessly through the home buying process. See, many of us are unaware of our credit score issues, our true financial situation. Jeff will help you develop a step-by-step plan to improve your financial standing and making your dream of owning a home achievable sooner than you think. Jeff understands your financial situation may not be perfect, but that's okay. The sooner you start the conversation, the sooner you two can solve the problems, right? Like the credit issues, student loan debt, etc. Right? So don't let fear of achieving new heights hold you back from getting the home of your dreams, perfect for your growing family, or hosting those PV watch parties, right? Which you listen, more people probably looking to host PV watch parties. We're gonna talk about that. Getting started now. Take the first step towards your new home and take the next big step in your life. So don't delay to talk to Jeff today so he can help you toward your home ownership goals, right? And so listen, you need to be in a place of your own. You need to be comfortable. And my boy Jeff can get you comfortable. You know what I'm saying? He can get you real comfortable because we got to talk. But listen, I just want to, let me take this off real quick before I bring this back. Okay. I want everybody to understand. Listen, I'm a solution guy. I want y'all to understand that, right? I'm a solution guy. I want to paint the picture so y'all can just understand, right, where I'm coming from. Okay. I remember last year, July-ish, right? May, not even last year, it's probably like 2 years ago at this point, right? I remember I was on YouTube, searching YouTube, and I'm looking, I'm like, man, I'm going to different people's shows, enjoying their content, but I'm just like, I'm feeling the dearth of information because I'm like, man, PV is getting like this much, like we getting a slither of this 2-hour show, this hour show, this 45 minutes, this hour and a half. I'm like I need some more. Give me some more, man, right? And I'm searching for it. I'm looking, and it's not there. And then it's just like the idea just hit me like, you know what? If I can't find it somewhere else, maybe I should just create it because I have the ability, I have the skill set, right? Done podcasts, I do graphic stuff. I could do it, right? It's not like I couldn't do it. Let me do it, right? Now, I didn't know it would turn into all this. Obviously, I thought it would just be a little side thing. It's still a side thing, but it's like to see how it's grown and how people have really appreciated it. It's really been amazing. But it just started from like, hey, I have the ability, I have the skill. Let me provide the solution to the problem I see, right? So I'm a solution guy. When I think about 2 weeks ago, Said Brass, right? Who's out here on these streets, right? Represent PV very well. Everywhere you go, hit me up saying, listen, I love PVU, class of 1999. Man, the season ticket holders need to be shown love. And it's like right now, there's nothing to show them love of just being season ticket holders. So listen, not calling me to complain, not calling me to say, hey, listen, we need to be doing more, etc. Boom, 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 boom. No, call me and say, you know what we're gonna do, man? Let's set up a happy hour, a networking happy hour. Season ticket holders can get together. We set it up. We'll blast it out, man. We'll connect with PV versus everybody. I'm gonna hit up Brandon, right? We're gonna connect with PV Football Alumni Association, and we provided a solution. Yes, a solution to the problem that we saw. Because hey, listen, let's represent for the PV season ticket holders. I'm all about solutions. I just want to start off with saying that, right? I'm all about solutions. I mean, we've had, I feel like, multiple shows where the focus was not just on identifying where we were, right? Start by where we were, right? Understand why we are where we were, because how can you go from a place when you don't even understand why you're there? That's important, but not to dwell on that, but then to say, okay, how can we get now to this place we want to get to? I feel like we've had multiple conversations, even on this channel, about that, right? Because there's a belief, right? There's hope in me, in my mind, and my thoughts that, hey, we can get to these places. This is something that we cannot achieve. Like, we can achieve these things. That's why we had the conversations. Listen, you don't have, to me, it's like it's a waste of a conversation. We talking about something that you can't even achieve. That's just a waste of time. Ain't no point in doing that, right? So we've been talking about these things. I feel like we provided a lot of thought process of solutions of how we as a collective can move forward. Alumni, university, students, graduates, current players, former players. I mean, we've been talking about these things. Solutions. I'm saying all that to say tonight is not about solutions. Okay. Tonight is about addressing the problems, right? Tonight is about letting people vent, letting people's voice be heard. Because listen, you can the solutions really are in the problems. To be honest, like the solutions really are in the problems most of the time. They're like really right there. Sometimes you got to just sit back, step back, and listen to the problems. Listen, if you are a business owner, some of y'all are really business owners out here, right? Y'all can't tell me y'all not out here. You're telling me you're out here ignoring the people who tried your product, who have issues with your shipping, who you just ignoring them. You're not paying attention to the fact that, man, 17 people who done bought your product say it took way longer to get to them than your shipping actually said it was going to get to them. You telling me to ignore all of them? You're not paying attention? Are you going to listen to them and say, you know what? First of all, I'm sorry that you didn't get it in the time that I stated on my website that you would get it. Here is a discount toward future purchases. You're keeping them as a customer. First of all, I hope you're doing stuff like that. That's just smart. That doesn't make sense, right? But also saying, listen, let me go back and figure out why it's taking longer than it's supposed to take in the first place. I mean, that's pretty simple to me. I think that to me, that ain't no rocket science. It's pretty simple. But you're not ignoring those people. Why in the world? Why would you ignore people? Can y'all hear me? Why would you ignore people that paid you money? Why would you ignore the people that paid you money? They gave you their money. You don't ignore those people. Okay, I don't know if y'all heard that. You don't ignore people that paid you money. That doesn't make sense. That's not logical, y'all. It's not logical. But as we get into it, listen, I really want y'all to understand something, right? Please step back and understand where I'm coming from when I bring this up. Okay? Because I know there's a lot of conversation, especially in the alumni chat rooms and on different groups and all this other stuff. But y'all got to just step back for a second. Just understand, man. Just step back and understand, please. Step back for a second. Step back from you being a person who's connected. Step back from you being a person who can reach out to certain people because you got their phone numbers. Like, step back for a second from your high horse and think about the regular Joe, the regular Jane. Just step back for a second and consider them. Consider those people, please. And understand this quote here. Listen. I want you to understand the principle in this quote that I'm bringing up, right? A riot is the language of the unheard. Listen to what I'm trying to say, Black people. Okay, listen to me, please. A riot is the language of the unheard. And in Martin Luther King addressing the riot, he didn't pay more attention to the riot. He paid more attention to the fact that our nation's summers of riots are caused by a nation's winters of delay. There's delay in receiving something that has caused riots to increase, riots to continue to get louder and louder. There are more and more. And I want you to understand, see the riot of conversation in all these groups, the riot of conversation in your alumni circles, the riot of conversation on Facebook is due to a winter of delays from people who have not been heard. Not have not been heard like they didn't see that you got the email. They didn't see that you answered their phone call, but there has been no solution to the problem that they having over and over and over and over and over. You get my point. You can't be shocked. You cannot be shocked that people respond to now just venting their information wherever they can. You know why they do that? Because they're unheard. They're not heard. There is no even listen, Good business people. I know we got good business people in this, in all these 80,000 plus alum. We got good business people. And you understand, sometimes you just got to listen to the complaints. Listen to the, first of all, sometimes, many times there's value in these complaints. A lot of times. Y'all understand that. It's not every time. We understand that too. But you got to listen to people. Just people feeling that you heard them can truly help a situation, can truly solve situations most of the time. Just hear them out. So I want you to understand, the reason we even hear is because people are unheard. And we got to stop acting as if this unheard, that these people are a small amount of individuals. Like, this is confusing to me. This is very confusing to me. Why are we acting like this is a small amount of individuals? These people paid you money. They paid you money. They paid you money. They paid you money. It's 2024. Don't y'all understand that every price of everything has gone up? Do y'all not understand what world we living in right now? Do you not understand how inflation has just killed just regular prices of regular food all over? We have a campus of people who graduated, and most of those people who graduate go back to their homes to help their families at their homes. They don't come out their graduation to get help from their families, from their mothers, from their fathers. No, they come out to already be given to help benefit their family. Yet some of these people still are saying they're going to support you by giving you money, and you ignore them. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. What result do you think you're going to get from this? I don't understand. You're not going to get a result that you think you're going to get. Do you think the result is people going to keep blindly saying, I'm going to keep paying you money and I'm not getting what I paid for? I'm going ahead of myself. Listen, I'm going ahead of myself. Listen, I want y'all to understand. That's not how this works. That's not how this works. But now, listen, that's not what took the cake for me. The reason what made me sad, before I open these call lines up, because I know that there's some individuals who want to share their experience, because that's what tonight is about. I already told you, it's not about solutions. So if you're trying to hear a solution, we ain't come to solution side. We done talked about a lot of solutions. Listen, I'm about solutions. I'm a solution-oriented person. Trust me, right? And if you don't, I can't affect that, because listen, you ain't got to believe I'm solution oriented. I can't affect that. I can't make all y'all believe that, but that ain't my job. You feel me? I'm just trying to help the regular Jane, the regular Joe. I want them to be heard, and I want you to understand that maybe what you think you're hearing is incorrect, and maybe you should step back and think again and reconsider that people paying you money. It's common decency. It's common customer service, y'all. But again, I want... That's not what took the cake for me, right? That's not the thing that really made me shocked. Because as I'm out here, because what I do, I support my people all through and through. Listen, Coach Lindsay and them, like, they rocking it out today. Volleyball. I hope y'all was watching the volleyball game, right? I was supporting my girls. Like, they was right there, couldn't get over the hump tonight, right, against Lamar. But listen, I'm there, I'm watching, because that's what I do. I support all PV athletics, no matter what it is. I'm support it all. And as I'm listening, I heard disconnect. Listen, I have no problem with any of the individuals who you about to listen to. It's not about that. That's not what it's about. But what it's showing me is there is a disconnect, and we got to reconnect this disconnection. So I hope y'all can hear this. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna just matter of fact, I'm gonna share my screen, because I think I might need to share my screen in order for you guys to hear this. So let me share my screen real quick. And I want y'all listeners.
Welcome back to the William Nick Center, ladies and gentlemen. Charles Porter with Donald Carroll, and also Miss Jalen Cole, and now our leader, our fearless leader, Mr. GC. We're gonna keep that between us. Athletic Director Anton Golf. Man, let me tell you something. First of all, I think the game was great. The football game was great. I mean, the game day atmosphere was something like I hadn't seen in a while. I mean, it's been good, but it was really, really exciting. You guys had all kinds of things going on all over the place. A couple of hiccups there. I want to talk about the positive things. And first of all, for those of you who do, say, you're entitled to your opinion on social media. But let's start talking about the positive things first, man, and how hard this team has worked. My wife's a part of that team, and I know how hard that they have worked. And I just want to say congratulations. It didn't come out like we wanted it to, but I think overall, the whole experience was just fantastic.
Yeah, I mean,
all right. Listen, like I say, first of all, it's not about anybody. It's not about Mr. Porter or anybody like that, right? Because it's not what it's about, right? What it's about is to see and understand that in PV Nation right now, there's a disconnect. There's a big disconnect right now. There's a huge disconnect right now. And I'm watching the volleyball game and I'm hearing this and I'm like, this is crazy. Because almost like I felt like it was like these alumni chats is kind of like almost like a sounding board, like kind of just talking to each other sometimes. Sometimes I do kind of feel like that. You see so many comments about that, like this ain't gonna go nowhere, whatever. But now to hear this is to let me know immediately that, oh, okay, let me step back and think. So there is a complete understanding and people do see the issues that people have and that people are sharing and that people are complaining about in these spaces. Like, it's not like, hey, y'all sharing here, but it's not getting to nobody. Nobody sees, nobody hears. We just talking to ourselves. It let me know, like, no, that ain't the reality. Because if it was, then this wouldn't be shared right now in the and listen, we're trying to support the volleyball team right now, and this is being shared. It's kind of like that kind of is that's such a discounting and disrespect to those who had a bad experience. And it's not like it's a few people. We're not talking about a few people. It'd be different if it's 1, 2, or 3 people, right? And again, that doesn't mean that we shouldn't say, hey, that customer experience that you had was bad and we need to fix that, even for you 3 people, right? But listen, it wasn't like 3 people. It was like 3,000. Okay? So that's the first. And then I got one more. This is one more, right? And then again, right? Listen, I'm open to call lines. I know it's a long drawn out, but I'm trying to get it out real quick, just so we all on the same page and understand why I feel I went from being more like disappointed to like sad. To be honest, that's the only feeling I can say. It's like sad because I always think about the person in the corner over here, right? It's the last one right here.
AD, thank you so much. I know we got a couple of games coming up. One other thing. The Michigan State game, Huge game for us, huge game for you in a couple of weeks. It's going to be a lot of fun. For more information on how to get to the tailgate, just go to our website, how to get tickets, tailgate, information, anything you need to know. Go to our website at www.pvpanthers.com, or let me give you Miss Thurston's cell phone number. It's 2. Let me give you AD's cell phone number. No. That would be an instant bye-bye. You won't see the big dog anymore. But listen, thanks, guys. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
We are on the right track. I just think if we continue to get the positive information out there, people will hop on board and join this love train, baby, because it's just beginning.
No doubt.
It's just beginning.
No doubt. We appreciate all your support. Thank you.
No problem.
All right. Listen, I don't know what conversation y'all been having, but people is not trying to join this love train. They're literally saying, I'm getting off of this love train. People who bought season tickets are saying, I'm not renewing my season tickets. Like, this is a disconnect. And we gotta fix this disconnect, because listen, we about to lose valuable customers. Valuable people who pay you money. They pay you money. And all I'm trying to say is there's a disconnect, right? There's a disconnect, and we need to reconnect it. Now, again, call lines is open now. If you want to call in, 516-253-3434. Listen, this is your time. I also shared the StreamYard link. If you want to jump in the back of the studio, if that's easier for you, you can do it that way, right? But we need to have a conversation, right, and understand there's people who having bad experiences with the game day. That game day experience is not great, right? And we ain't even got to the PV casuals yet, because listen, we got to talk about the PV casuals too. That's a whole different conversation, right? But let's get through some of these comments real quick while you guys, before you guys call in. I didn't hear Swain. I'm gonna let it go for now. I didn't hear Swain either. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The ugly truth. Yeah, unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? Said True Seeker said, don't be sad. Real passionate fans always go through roller coaster emotions. Yeah, man. This made me sad though. Reading some of the comments, right? You know what I'm saying? Said running on fumes, but I'm here tonight. Tell the truth, shame the devil. Miss McCoy, and this is one of our parents here. I have heard so much about the culture of football games. I was disappointed, if I must say so. Definitely not what I expected for my first PV Nation experience. Now, listen, we can't discount her. We can't discount what she's saying. We can't discount her experience. It would be foolish of us to do that. It would be foolish of us to do that, right? No, we need to hear out what the proper response is. I'm sorry you had that experience. What was it about this experience that made you so disappointed? That's a simple response question. It's simple. It's so simple, y'all. I don't understand. Y'all, yeah, I know many of y'all don't work in customer service. I know many of y'all own your own businesses. Do y'all just see this comment right here and just ignore it? Is that what you do? Or do you say, man, how can we make your next experience one that's not disappointing, but one where you say, man, I ain't never missing another PV game? What? Do we just ignore that? Come on, y'all. That's not how to operate. That's not how to operate. You don't do that. Let me get to the first caller, 2694. You on PVerse, everybody. I know we're passionate tonight, but I do want to remind everybody this is a PG. It's a PG show, right? So please, watch your conversation. But how you doing, 2694? Yes, sir. Doing well. How are you? Let me see, because it sounds like you're kind of low. Can you hear me now? Is this better? I can hear you, but you're still low for some reason. Let me see. You want me to try the StreamYard link? You might have to try the StreamYard link, because I don't know why it's not. I can't hear you. I can't hear you loud. Like you, for some reason, you're low. I'm here. Can you hear me now? I can hear you, but you're not loud enough for the people to hear you. That's the only thing. Okay, I'm gonna try to StreamYard link. All right, no problem. All right, he'll call in on StreamYard. All right, let's keep it going. Miss McCoy, thank you for your comment. That was so smooth. Okay, 8818, you live. Turn your background down, 8818. I'm doing good. Can you guys put in the chat if you can hear Mr. Curran real quick? I'm looking at you and I can barely hear it. All participants are muted. Let me see. Yeah, I'm not sure why my phone is so low. Mr. Curran, can you use the call-in link for StreamYard? Because I need to figure out how to get this working. Because for some reason not coming in clear. All right, Rich, I got you on. You in the StreamYard, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. Yourself?
Yeah, doing well. Go ahead, man. You can share your thoughts.
All right. I'm gonna try to be careful but clear. So I mean, hey, I know a lot of people in the Thin Athletics. I speak with them, conversate with them, try to provide feedback where warranted. I think the first thing starts with the website, right? having anything and everything on the website, right? From tailgating, making it a seamless process to purchase tickets. I know that we started 3 and under for free, but what about the younger kids, the youth kids? That ticket price, right? Because then that warrants somebody from not bringing in their family. Um, Man, it's a lot. But let's try to dissect this. I also just think that it's not as clear, right? There's not necessarily like a map, right? When it comes to like parking, what's how to get on. I know us as season ticket holders, we get something in the mail, but what about the casual fan, average fan, whatever you want to call them, right? How do
Mhm.
they get this information and know where to go when it comes to parking, getting on campus, trying to tailgate? It seems like there's just a whole bunch of it's just very difficult. It's not as smooth as it can be. And I think that as a business owner, there's nothing wrong with leveraging, right? They got several schools. You can look at Texas A&M, U of H, whomever, right? You can look at other HBCUs that's just doing it great, Southern, Jackson, and we can literally leverage them, what they're doing, put our own brand on it, maybe a little bit of twist because it may not be apples to apples, and we can go ahead and implement some of these things along with trial runs, right? I don't know if there was like an actual trial run that was done to show, okay, how do we make sure that when there's 100 people all trying to get in at once, that this can go as quickly as possible. When there's 50 people on the lines of concessions, that we can get to them as quickly as possible, right? I don't know if there's necessarily process or lean thinking. That's just the engineering in me that thinks about these things and runs through these type of simulations. It just kind of seems like, hey, let's just go and let's just hope for the best. And I think what's key is for us to really pay attention to these small intricacies and details so that it keeps us coming back. I think it's one thing to say that we want a packed out stadium, and it's another thing to not take necessary steps and actions to fulfill what we actually want.
Yeah. Um, it's so what's interesting to me is just thinking about the amount. I think the number that came from AD Golf was 13,206 this past game. And the reality is, right, can we even process having the stadium uh sold out? Because if that's 13,200 and we had the issues and troubles with lines, the issues and troubles with parking, and with getting off campus. I mean, can we imagine adding 2,000 more people?
I just think that it's gonna heighten up the issues even further, right? And it's like in this day and age where people's attention spans are so short, it's almost like you only really get one shot to make it right.
Yeah, yeah.
And like when you don't make it right, then people just be like, "Yeah, I'm out of here. I'm done." And I'm a loyal season ticket supporter for the past 4 to 5 years, and I see the issues that constantly happen over and over and over again. And it just seems like there's no accountability that takes place. It just seems that there's not really an effort to really try to right the wrongs. I mean, forget the feedback, right? Because I could tell, or I mean, the average person could tell that some folks just don't want to hear the feedback, right? But
Mhm.
again, nothing on anybody personally in particular, right? But if we're looking at this straight from a business standpoint, it's just not right, man. It's just not right. And everybody's gonna say the same tune that we gotta do better. But my question in charge to AD Golf and the staff is, what are we gonna truly do? What are we truly working on? What are we looking to implement to make these things better, right? Because the sad part about all of these issues is that these are all low hanging fruits.
Yeah.
These are all low hanging fruits. It doesn't take rocket science to fix some of these issues that we're having. I mean, minus the Wi-Fi. I mean, I think it's a little bit bigger project, but a lot of these smaller things can be fixed overnight.
Mhm.
But it just doesn't seem that it's like it tends to be a priority.
Yeah, and I think that's what my question would be, I guess, right now, thinking about it and stepping back, because I'm looking obviously from the outside in, right? I don't have an administration background, right? I haven't worked in a university setting per se, other than my time working as a student on campus of PV, right? But I'm just looking from the outside in, thinking of the marketing opportunity that's here with you having a team coming off going to the SWAC championship, having that momentum of them really believing they can get back, bringing in certain players that you believe that adds to this roster to have a chance, bringing in a coordinator back home, right? I saw Jackson State bring one of their former linebackers back into the program. I mean, and just the media train behind that for him to be a positional coach, right? He's not even a DC, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just a positional coach, right? But the media train behind it was so like, wow, like that was so much love. And I'm like, we brought somebody in who's going to have an immediate literal effect of whether this team wins or not as the OC, right? It was big love, right? So you can just feel, I mean, if you were just anywhere connected with the football team or around it, you could feel the momentum that was building in January and February and March. And I'm thinking like, man, this is such a great opportunity for us to get more people out to the games, to sell more season tickets, et cetera, right?
Right.
To not see the opportunity, right? And to not like, I guess that made me feel like, do we see this as something that was attainable? Do we see that this was something that was going to happen? Because I know plenty of people, obviously from doing the channel, who bought season tickets this year and wasn't season tickets holders before, right?
Right.
And now, what experience do they have? Is the experience they're going to have in these 4 or 5 games going to be the experience that's going to help, that's going to put in their mind that I'm going to continue to be a season ticket holder? And that's what the real question is for me, right? Because we can't lean on and rely on, hey, we got FAMU next year. We're going to have the Labor Day Classic next year. Southern's come here next year. No, those games are done away. That's only for this year, right? So the schedule can't be what you lean on. So what else is going to be that's going to keep them is their experience. But if we don't even understand, if we are so blind to see that the game day experience was not a great experience for the majority, I want to say the majority, let me say a lot of people, a whole lot of people, right? Then we're never going to be able to even do the things to make the experience great for a whole lot of people, because we don't even believe that the experience is not great in the first place.
Absolutely.
You know? And I want to read this comment real quick, right? Before you respond, right? This is from, I'm gonna just say JC, right? I'm not gonna tell people names. I'm just gonna give initials. This person says, "Why, as a season ticket holder, are guests able to park in a lot that I paid for at no cost? We paid for a particular lot, but guests without the designated parking permit were allowed to park in said lot free." Now, I want you to understand, because somebody had to even bring my mind to think this thought process right now. What kind of, if you have an individual that comes onto campus and they got to come through traffic, so much traffic to even get on the campus, right? Find out that the parking pass they paid for, right? They can't park in that section, but have to park somewhere else, right? And walk at a further distance to the stadium. Now, how prepared is that person to actually be involved in the game and to cheer this team on after going through that experience? Everybody ain't the same person. Everybody don't got the same mentality and mindset to where those things is off their mind now, and they just on the game now, right?
Absolutely.
Right. So those experiences are a part of the game day experience. When we talk about game day experience, we're talking about everything from the time you see the Prairie View sign to the time you go back past it, going back to Houston or San Antonio, wherever you come from, right? That's the game day, the whole day, the whole experience that you experience all the way through and through, right? That's a part of it, right? And if you pay for something, like I keep saying, man, you pay for a service that you don't receive. Many of us have many times had to pay for something we didn't get it. Most of us went back and got the service that we paid for, right?
Right.
But we got our money back or something, right? So for us to act as if these are alum, right? These are supporters, these are local, these are parents, right? Who coming and they're realizing that, oh, the money I paid for season tickets, is it worth it when somebody sits in my seat anyway and I have to sit in a different section? Is it worth it for me to pay the $350 for 107 then? Or 106 or 108? I had to sit in 105 anyway because somebody was in my seat. So why would I pay for these tickets when I realized, you know what, I can do exactly what they doing. I can just pay for a regular ticket and just come sit in the section.
Exactly.
I mean, what's your thought, man?
Let's break it down, right? So, and this is actually like in support of like the fan, right? And this is going to kind of allude to fan engagement. If I'm a fan, I'm excited, right? This is TSU. We going for 10 in a row. I'm on my way. I'm on 290. There's already traffic on 290 to get to get to my parking spot. I try to get to my parking spot and I'm moved around and I got to go park somewhere else, right? I'm like, okay. Then I'm walking up to get scanned in. It's a long old line. Take about 30 minutes just to finally get on in. I'd have missed zero quarter or kickoff, coin toss, whatever. Then I get hungry and I try to go online and I got to wait another 30, 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Then I finally get my food and then I try to go sit in my seats. I find somebody sitting in my seat. It's like everything I did, I had to pull teeth, I had to scratch, claw my way to get through. It's like by the time I finally sit down, it's like I'm already exhausted. It's like, golly, man. It's like I wanted here, but man, everything I did just to get here to this seat was so exhausting. It's like, golly. And it's like, I'm not saying it's right because I do believe as a fan or as a fanatic, right? You know, you want to hype up them kids, right? Because I know that it gives them that extra push to really want to play and show out and do better, right? That's why, you know, us in 107, we always try to get live, right? But it's like, golly, I can't for a fan, and that's not my experience, but for somebody who potentially had to go through that this weekend, I can't really fault them if they finally sit in their seat and then go from parking or the traffic on 290 to parking issues to long lines to get in to long lines food for somebody sitting
Yeah.
in your seat. I can't necessarily really fault them too much if they just finally sit down. It's like, all right, and it's like it shouldn't really take all that. Um, it shouldn't take all that to finally get into your seat and then now want to root on your team. It should be a seamless process to get on campus, get to your parking spot, get through them lines swiftly, even for food. And then, you know, you got to have your control measures in place for people not to be in your spot so you can get in there. Now your energy is different.
Right.
Now you're just ready to go, you know? And it's like, I feel for those fans that had to go like that. And sometimes I feel like that's probably why you got a lot of people who just end up sitting on this because it's like they're so exhausted for all the hurdles that they had to go through just to get to their seat.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot, man. And to ask people to keep that same energy, right? To
Right.
ignore the problems that they have, right? To only speak about the positive, right? Again, if you don't receive a service, you don't just say, you know what, I didn't receive my service, but you know, hey, listen, at least the floors was clean, man. You know what I'm saying? At least the racks was in order. No, you didn't receive a service that you paid
Right.
for, right? You know what I'm saying? Like if you go into, you know, if you're going to a section that's supposed to be for season ticket holders and you find that season ticket holders, non-season ticket holders are there eating up the food that you're supposed to be receiving, and you get to the front of the line and there's no more food for you, I'm sure you would say, man, what's the point of me paying extra money?
Absolutely.
This is not
Absolutely.
rocket science, right? This
It's
is not
not,
rocket
man.
science, is what I'm saying, right? And so many of the issues that people are having, right, are issues that people that we need to pay attention to, right? There's obviously not, it seems as if, right, I would say, because I don't know for fact, but it seems like there's no conversation between, you know, parking and police and and the ticketing office, and you know, it's like everybody's like disconnected doing their own thing, but there's no seamless process. Nobody has sat down to think about what experience do I want my fan, right, to go through from the time they step on campus to the time they step off. We got to
Absolutely.
sit down and have that thought process and think about it through and through. And for me, right, I'm even saying even worse because it should be for every fan, but especially your season ticket holders. Season ticket holders should be able to get on campus seamlessly and leave campus seamlessly, even if everybody else got to stay in an hour traffic.
Yep.
Because they your season ticket holders, bro. You gotta take care of them. If they have a great experience, that's gonna make everybody say, man, I need to be a season ticket holder, right? When
Exactly.
you calling and wanting to buy tailgate spots, but they can't get access to the tailgate spots because for what reason I do not know. I still don't understand, right? Why we open the tailgate spots so late in the first place when people calling to buy them and they there. These couple things just don't make sense to me, right? But
Right.
anyway, man. Any last thoughts before you go? I know Mr. Curran was calling in. I got Jay on the other line. Jay, I'm not sure if the free conference call will work. Can you hear me? Yeah, for some reason it's been low, so you might have to call into the StreamYard. All right, I just put the link in the chat, so you should be able to just click it and come on. All right, Rich, any last thoughts, man, before I go to the next caller?
Yeah, I'll keep it brief, man. At the end of the day, man, these are not personal attacks I feel coming from you or even myself or
No, for
any
sure not. No.
fan. I just think that these things happen year after year, and there seems to be no changes. And I'm sure some people in athletics, if not all of them, will hear this. And as I always mention, I'm always willing and able to support however I can. So I want to make that clear. But at the same time, we have to bring about change. And what exactly is that is, I'll leave it to the power that be. But change has to be made on all aspects regarding athletics so we can truly build a strong fan base, strong support system, give the student athletes a strong and great student athlete experience,
Yes.
and engagement from alumni to where this is the thing to do. Like, you want to be a season ticket holder, you want to be at every game outside of homecoming. Just like we built the homecoming culture, and we want to say homecoming, every game is homecoming. We can do that, but we have to get out of our own way, and change has to be made, man. I appreciate you for having me on, and keep doing what you're doing, Lotto.
No problem, man. I appreciate you for calling in.
Sure.
Yeah, man. There's just so much, so many people, talked about how they had to pay extra for parking even after they had already paid to be in a lot. Again, this is not good customer service, man. It's just, to me, it's just kind of, again, I talk about common sense, right? Here Jeff said, so we talk about why he asked the fans to cheer during the field goal, causing 2 false starts. This first of all, this football 101, right? Why are we getting loud when we about to kick a field goal? Doesn't make sense. That's backwards, right? That shouldn't be. Martin mentions this here, right? That we've had many conversations about before. Why does PV make everyone register, create an account just to buy game tickets? I mean, these are very simple questions. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So it's really things that we have to go back and see, to understand, right? But Jay, what's going on, man?
How you doing, brother?
I'm good. You can turn your camera off, and you'll still be able to be on audio if you don't want to have the camera on. But yeah, what's up, man? What's your thoughts about everything? I know you also are one who has shared about your experience even prior to the game coming up, right? And we've had many conversations even about the marketing, etc. But just what's your thoughts, man, about the game day experience from this past weekend?
Yeah, man. My game day experience was pretty bad. I'm a regular season ticket holder, and this time I decided to do something different for the Labor Day Classic. I
Wow.
wanted to invite my entire family out and extended family, a host of cousins and aunts and uncles to the tailgate experience on the yard, and have them enjoy that, and then go into the game, and we can and have them enjoy the campus and the Labor Day Classic at the game. And so the first of all, purchasing my tailgate ticket was a mess. Okay, I called 2 weeks in a row, almost every day, asking, when are you going to activate the ticket link for us to buy our tailgate spaces? So
Mhm.
I was able to secure a tailgate spot the week of the game, which is bad. It's a good thing that I had already informed the family that I was going to do the tailgate experience. So they were already informed, and they were just waiting for me to tell them what space we were in, and where to come for the tailgate. But the process to buy that tailgate space was bananas. Calling every day, trying to get an
Right.
idea when the ticket would be on sale, and it was just myself, along with, I had about 10 frat brothers that were trying to do the same thing. Right. So that was bananas. So I ended up purchasing an RV lot with power. And then when we got, so it was crazy because they were saying you would not be able to access the RV lot until Saturday. So evidently, some huffing and puffing got them to open the tailgate lot on Friday. So I was able to have my uncle park on Friday evening, which he wanted to get there, because Saturday would have been crazy. We knew that the parking and the organization of having everybody arrive on Saturday would be crazy. So anyway, we got there Friday. Now, on game day, the issue was that my family members were stuck on University Drive for 45 minutes to an hour.
Mm.
So the expected arrival time for 3 o'clock became easily 4 o'clock just for them to get on the campus, and then the parking, they were shuffled all the way back around to the back of the campus. I was trying to get them to park in lot 108. I mean, it's the lot right behind Hobart Taylor.
Yeah.
So that was a problem because they were no longer allowing people to park in that lot. I think it's 96, if I'm not mistaken. And there were slots available in the lot. So they were like, no, he gave us directions to park here in this lot, and we're seeing that it's slots available. And they were like, nope, just keep going to the back. So having them park in the back of the campus and then find the tailgate experience or the tailgate slide was a problem, right? So their time of arrival was completely thrown off due to the traffic of getting on the yard. Now, after that, I had a lot of family members who some bought $75 tickets
Mm-hmm.
for the game. Now,
Premium seats.
yeah. Now, the thing about it is, one of my cousins who bought the $75 tickets actually buys tickets to the Texans game all the time. And she was like, yo, I could have gone to the Texans game for this price. And then I had other cousins who were looking at the fact that they were spending $32 plus taxes and fees for the nosebleed seats. And so that's 40 something dollars to sit up top. And I'm like, that's crazy because I've looked at Sam Houston State, I've looked at U of H, I've looked at Rice. They all have tickets for under $20. And some of them have kid tickets, like the guy just mentioned.
Right.
So we should definitely have tickets for kids 10 and under. We've always done free to get in for 3-year-olds. That's something that's been posted, but that's been a standing protocol at the stadium. That's not new, even though it's marketed like it's new, but it's not. All right. So we need that kid ticket because one cousin of mine had a family of 4. So he spent $170 some to get 4 people into the game. And then you're talking about food, right? And gas and everything else. So he probably spent $230 for a PV game. And they stood in line 45 minutes to
That's
get
crazy.
into the stadium.
They paid you money. They paid you money.
Right. And they couldn't get there earlier enough to come to the tailgate and eat because of the traffic. Right. So I had some other cousins that came to tailgate and they just said, man, we're just going to tailgate because we're not going to pay that kind of money to see a college game. Now, I mentioned the $75 ticket purchase of my aunts. I mentioned the $40-something tickets purchased by my cousin and other cousins who did not want to buy the tickets. Now, all of them complained about not being able to simply go online and see the price of the ticket. And they all complained that they had to sign on and then go to their email address, emails, and then sign back in, and the whole the difficulty that of the system of the ticketing purchasing system. It's just very convoluted. It's not user friendly, and that's a problem, right? So there's no easy way to purchase a ticket to Panther Stadium, and when you do, you're going to be overcharged. That's just flat out the way.
Right.
So I was in the game because I didn't want to miss kickoff, and I'm steady texting family members who are still arriving, and I'm telling them, just come to the game, or if you want, you can go to the tailgate spot and eat. And it just threw off my entire vision of how I wanted to accommodate the family on the yard for Labor Day.
I'm just happy you was able to text them, and it was getting
Yes.
through. So
I was definitely able to text them, and I'm happy I was too.
that was a blessing
Because I
for
know
you.
the situation with the phones during homecoming. You can't text anybody when it's a lot of people. So that was a good thing.
Yeah. Nah, man. It's
So my
a lot.
cousin, my aunt that bought the seat back tickets, she bought six tickets. And when she told me that when she got to the scanner for the person to scan the tickets, the lady told her, "Oh, ma'am, I'm sorry, you have paper tickets and our scanner isn't working anyway." So she felt some kind of way because she went through the process of printing out these tickets and then the scanner didn't work. And then she told the lady, "Ma'am, we've been in line for 45 minutes.
Could have just walked
Wouldn't
in.
it be hold up, wouldn't it be smart for you to let everybody else in line know that if you have a paper ticket to just come around because the scanner isn't working and they won't have to stand in line that long?"
Now is that
She
that
said,
hard to do? Is that
and
hard
she
to do?
said the lady told her, "Ma'am, we only have 2 people working this gate." And but her exact words were, the lady said, "Ma'am, we don't have enough people for all that. We just got 2 people working the gate."
Listen, I mean, at this point, just let people walk into the game. Maybe they bought tickets, maybe they didn't. I mean,
Fill up the
listen,
stadium.
maybe they bought tickets, maybe they didn't. At least they there, right? At this point, you know what I'm saying? What I mean, didn't have a because this is experience, right? People don't understand, and then y'all act like y'all don't understand how black people are. Y'all act like y'all don't know yourselves, right? Y'all act like y'all don't know y'all, right? Y'all know how y'all is. Y'all judge y'all the worst, okay? So you gonna have a bad experience, and you expect that boy's gonna come back and spend another $200 something
Right.
for another bad experience? It's not going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Some people you only get one chance to make that first impression, and this is what. Listen, Truth Seeker put it in here, man. Like, and this is what I've been arguing for the longest. This is what we've been talking about on the show for the this last couple months, right? The issue ain't because people won't attend the game. The issue is really we ain't never sat down and really considered how to put an experience together that make people want to come and stay, right? And put an experience together price-wise, etc., that makes this a family-friendly event. Because the truth is the prices make it not family-friendly event in the first place, right?
Absolutely.
Let's just be real. It's not a family-friendly event that you're gonna bring kids and all. And I'm just like, listen, if I would have brought like kids to the game and then we got to sit in this much traffic going home, people gonna say, I'm not gonna do that with my little kids. I just won't come to the game. I just won't come to the game.
Last year for the Labor Day Classic, I may have paid $23 for the game tickets, and I bought a few of them for my mother-in-law, and son, and whomever else, just family. And again, I was able to just go on Ticketmaster, buy several tickets. The scanners were working. We went in, sat in our seats, and it was a great game, and we won that part. But there's an easier way, and it's clear because all the other schools in the surrounding area, U of H, Sam Houston, even TSU, when they host games, they're doing it. And it's sad when we get to Prairie View, can't have an easy system, and we know it's an easier way because people buy tickets all the time.
Nah, for sure. Hey, listen, my guy be Jizzle in the building. You know what I'm saying? Way back to Trey 6 and UC. You know what I'm saying? I see you. I got you coming up in a second. Jay, let me get Zay up real quick. You can
Go ahead.
hang out because I know you got something else to share as well. Let me get Zay up real quick.
Yeah, man. Thanks for letting me voice
yeah.
my experience and thank you for doing what you do.
No problem. Zay, what's going on, man? You're in the stream.
What's going on, Lionel? Well, I'm gonna kind of level set. As I've said before on your show, a lot of people may know, they may not know. I'm actually not a PV alum. Had a lot of family that went to PV, but I actually graduated from North Texas. And so since I moved to Houston,
hold on, you graduated from North Texas. Listen, first of all, y'all don't understand. Zay is like, you wouldn't even know Zay ain't no alum, bro. First of all, because Zay is like be in it for PV. You're like the third person, first of all, that I've met who really be supporting PV, and you ain't even a PV alum. It's crazy.
No, let me tell you, I've been a season ticket holder. Man, I've been following PV my whole life because I'm from Dallas. So I went to most of the State Fair classes coming up since the '90s and etc. But when I moved to Houston about 5 years ago, I've had season tickets since then. And so, for example, this season I'm spending $700 for 2 tickets in Section 107. That's not including gas. That's not including food. That's not including drink. We go to away games. Last year I was in Baton Rouge. 2 years ago, no, the year before that I was in two years before that I went to Baton Rouge for SU's homecoming when we beat them. I mean, this year I'll probably make most games if I can, whether it be home or away. And for me, it's just more so like, okay, Mr. Bowers brought up a good point, concessions, for example. So we all know the food is Sodexo, right? It's nasty work to me to, have people that are not given the customer service that's required and that's expected, especially for the output, right? Don't mean mug me over some Sodexo wings. That's nasty work. I'm just gonna be real, right? I don't know any other way to say it. It's so much easier to implement saying, hey, maybe whoever the manager is on staff, whoever's managing concessions for Sodexo or for the Panthers admin, hey, welcome to Panther Stadium. My name is such and such. What can I get for you? Now, just to let you know, we have more volume than what we usually expect. There's sort of a wait. Here's take a ticket or look for the number on the screen or for someone to call you. And after I take your order, please stand over to the side so I can get the next person's order, right? That's typically what you'll see. Not you give your order and then you waiting there 5 minutes for your food to come. And now everybody else behind you can't see the game. They're missing the game, right? And so that's part A. And then part B is like, even for the Panther Den, right? That's supposed to be a season ticket holder, exclusive area, etc., which is great. I love it. Right? I can go in there and get my drink, everything like that. I missed most of the third quarter simply because, they, they taking this person drink and then they forgot about this person drink and etc. And it's just kind of like it's a little bit convoluted. I know it was only 3 people, but we live in Houston. We have plenty of bars, and I've seen plenty of bartenders manage a big crowd with just 3 of them, right? And I just think the execution on some of the things could be better. Aside from that, you and I talk all the time. I could go all day. I'm not going to, because I think I'll get 38 hot again, just based on like, some of the stuff that Rich has mentioned. A lot of people are going to mention even after me. This stuff is low hanging fruit. We are a Ferrari that runs on a Honda engine. Okay, let me say that again. We are a Ferrari that runs on a Honda engine. And there's no reason for us to do that. There's plenty of our counterparts, whether it be SWAC, Southland, etc., that don't have half the budget that we do, and they have more output. And we just expect more, right? If we want to support. We're forever Panthers, right? We're all in, but we have to do better, and we have to be honest about our issues. I would respect a little bit more. And it's my last thing. If hey, you know what? It starts with leadership. If these are our issues, don't let us have to go and connect the dots through other people or contacts or have to go around and get back channel information. Come out and say, hey, these are the areas that we're looking to improve because right now we are understaffed. Or right now we don't have, all the resources in this particular area. To me as a fan, I much more respect that because then I go in understanding, hey, logistics getting on off campus, even though it is a major issue, they're having issues with staffing and the PV police handles parking, not the athletic department, which is a whole another situation, right? So, that's my thoughts. I'm gonna let somebody else come on, but I appreciate the show as always, bro. Looking forward to more content and it's, continuing to support the Panthers, but we got to do better.
Yeah, no problem, man. And like I say, I appreciate you sharing your thoughts, man. And as I said earlier, if y'all came on late, listen, I'm all about solutions. We provided a lot of solutions on the show. Tonight's not about solutions though. Tonight is about letting people voice be heard, right? And about people being having a chance to just vent. Sometimes you gotta just vent. But like I say, there's so many solutions in people's complaints, right? And business owners, you understand, that. I want to read these two next comments. This is from AO. It says, they have been sitting in the wrong section for years. I mentioned it in previous years and got pushed back from other folk in the group for my complaint. I've been a season ticket holder since the stadium opened, but this might be my last year. I'm not driving over 3 hours each way to hassle for a seat. Now, again, I keep saying, these people pay you money. They pay you money. And that's why I keep saying, like, when people talk about PV fan base and stuff like that, that's why I know it don't make sense, because you can't average. Like I said, over these last years, even though even us and PV be always saying all the stuff we say that don't make sense, you can't average over 8,000 people at a game and say you don't have a fan base. That don't make sense. That's just illogical, right? That's illogical. It's not like we market. It's not like we reach out to alum consistently. It's not like we reach out to the community to get people to game. No, we aren't doing any of those things. And you still averaging 8,000 people a game on average over these last years. You got a fan base, bro. Okay. You have a fan base. Let's calm down. Right now, for us to make that fan base grow and get larger, you can't lose people who driving 3 hours each way to come watch you play.
Bro, Lionel, I got one more thing for
Go
you,
ahead.
because I've only shared this I think maybe two or three times before. One of the years that I had season tickets, right? They sent the season ticket lanyard to the wrong address, and so I emailed, I called, all that for weeks, and they would not like send me another offer to pay to get another one, whatever. So do you know I missed most of the games that season? Or if I went like homecoming, etc., I just had to buy an additional ticket to get in.
That's crazy.
It's stuff like that should not happen.
You
Period.
didn't. They sent it to the wrong
Period.
address, and you didn't even get that's crazy.
It
right?
should not happen. You
But-
know what I'm saying? I may be a little bit more, I guess I'm trying to be patient. The Lord working on me, than others. But where I'm from, I know some people that would have got really upset about
But
that.
think
So
about that. I'm just saying, like, right? You can't. You have somebody that's so loyal. They support the program so much that they still came to the game and bought an extra ticket when you really you should have compensated them for that. So again, I keep saying the thought process that even ourselves, we pair it all the time, don't make sense, because we give people bad customer service and keep expecting them to just roll over. It don't make sense. But Zay, I appreciate you, man. Let me get BG up. BG, let me read this comment real quick. Then I'm gonna bring you right up. This from RW. It says, PV changed season passes for my sections without informing me. It changed 6 season packs. It says, we all couldn't sit in our section because no one was monitoring access. This will be my last year as a season ticket holder. 6 passes, he said, for the last 9 seasons. Now, how do you continue to keep building your fan? How is there such a disconnect then? That everything is great, but a 9-year season ticket holder of 6 passes, bruh. First of all, that's at least $250 because that's a premium section, so that's at least $250 a seat, if not $350 a seat. So you basically losing $1,200 to $1,800, $1,200 to $1,800. And I know they're not the only people. These people who saying this ain't the only people who feel this way. Listen, there's more. But BG, what's going on, man? Let me get you up on the stream. How you doing, sir, this evening?
My guy, how you been, man? How you living?
I'm doing good, man. Daniel, I got you on in a second. Just hold on for me, okay? All right, BG, go ahead, man.
Yeah, man. We me and my wife and my son went to the game, and it was just a bad experience. We've been trying to get season tickets, but all the stories that I've been hearing about season tickets, let's start from the beginning, right? So we bought the tickets online. The online purchasing was okay. We get to the stadium. We found out we had to park right across the street from the church, right next to the post office, because all the parking was a disaster. So we had to walk across the street from the post office by the church to go across the street to go to the stadium. All right, cool. So we get to the stadium.
You had season tickets?
No, I didn't have seats. I had a regular ticket.
Just regular ticket. Okay, gotcha. Okay, go ahead.
So it was raining outside, so I bought some ponchos to bring into the game. Cool. So then we get to security. The security people that was taking forever to scan, they, we have iPhones, Androids, so it's easy to pull the screen up, brighten the screen to scan. Their scanners wouldn't scan my wife's phone, so was having problems with that, scanning 3 tickets. Then we get there, the head security guy looking at me because I got 3 ponchos in my hand. I'm like, sir, these are fresh packed ponchos. I'm not bringing them legal. Well, you can't bring those in, sir. It's about to rain outside. I have a wife and a kid. It's about to rain. I'm bringing these ponchos in. So he had to get a ruler. Somebody had to open the bag up to get a ruler to look inside the bags. And then they wouldn't even check because I still brought my whole entire academy bag in. So I want to carry 3 ponchos in my hand. So we get there. So then we try to get to the seats. We sat right next to the student section where the railing is. I forgot what section it's called. So when we get there, there was nobody checking for seats or anything. Well, for security. Okay, so when we get down to our seats, they had students in our section. Usually it's not a problem if they're not sitting in my seats, but they were sitting in my seats.
Right.
So now my wife and I told her, hey, I gotta move. So we told them to move. They obliged and got up and went to a different section. Then they had to move again because why are students not supposed to sit there? Why are they sitting there? Because there's nobody checking for tickets.
Mm-hmm.
They're reserved seats. So now we get to, and my wife saying, the tickets were $75 for reserved seats. They were $65 last year. So now we're paying more for less.
Exactly.
We don't have nobody checking the tickets. So we get there, I'm watching the game. First of all, the game was packed, but at the same time, the people were quiet, which is the whole. We can talk about the X's and O's in football. We can talk about.
We ain't even got there yet, BG. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, we can talk X's and O's, right? So, we get there. We sit down for the first quarter. My son said he hungry. Go get something to eat. Cool. I missed the whole second quarter and part of TSU halftime show because I was waiting in line for some chicken tenders. Right. And I heard the caller before. I appreciate the call when he was talking about, they need to order the food and then try to get out the way. But they was ordering the food and then we had to wait for it to get cooked. Then we can go. Come to find out, they was telling us some lines were card only, some lines were cash only, some lines were card.
Oh my goodness.
But they never said which one was designated as which. And also the students now can use their Panther Bucks in. So now you added more complexity on that system. And the people were slow. They only had one option with water. People wanted Gatorade. People were passing. They had a lady pass out in line. Honestly, they had a lady pass out. It was so hot. It was so humid with no air because the line wasn't moving. It was all still air. So then I literally missed the second quarter and part of TSU band for halftime. Then it started raining. I saw people with umbrellas in the stadium. They weren't supposed to have umbrellas in the stadium. It was just one big mess. It was just one big. So then I talked to some people who have season passes, and they were telling me, they had to park and they had their own designated parking right by the, if you have season passes. They had to park right near UC. They had to walk from UC all the way to the stadium with season passes.
But y'all don't know what a UC is, because maybe some of y'all own and y'all don't know nothing about PV. Listen, this is like across campus. Okay, y'all walk
literally a diagonal across campus. That's the longest. That's probably the longest.
With a season ticket pass, it's crazy, right?
Had season ticket passes, and they had to park in UC, and it's gonna be a mess for homecoming. Because people we pay for parking every year, but then for somehow we go to our designated lot and the lot's already full.
Already full. I don't understand how you don't have a simple system to understand that you only can sell the amount of season parking passes for the amount of spots you got. That's common sense.
You're letting people who are not parking there when they get there early to park in those designated areas, and that's not right for paying people. This is how you turn off a dedicated fan base. You want people to come to the games. You want people to enjoy themselves. Let them pay for people. Nowadays, we have disposable income. We will pay for a good experience.
Yes.
However, we're not getting offered that experience. Now we're told to pay $150 just for a raffle for a homecoming spot. We're told that we paid this money to go to get the skyboxes and to get these special seatings, but we don't have the amenities to accommodate those people. I'm paying for parking. I'm paying for convenience. I'm paying to sit in a certain seat, and I'm not guaranteed the opportunity. That's how you piss people off. That's just from the security side. We haven't talked about the announcer. The announcer is terrible. I've been to Southern games. I've been to Jackson State. I've been to SWAC championship. Those people do not sit down from the time the game starts to the time the game ends. They have a chant for everything. They have a motion for everything.
Yes.
When Southern plays, the fans aren't quiet. When they're winning, it's time to go home. They take their keys out, start jingling. It's time to go home. Like we don't have Prairie View. We're too bougie.
Bougie.
Really pisses us off. We're front, and I hate to say it, we're front runners. We are. When we're winning, we're up, the band's playing, everybody having a good time, everybody dancing and grooving. But like you saw the game on Saturday. When we down, when we looking pitiful, everybody's quiet.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's pitiful. It's and this isn't just a one-off. This has been going on for years. It just so happens that for the past 4 or 5 years, we've been winning. So we've been getting the fanfare. We've been getting the praise. We're playing loud. We're doing this. It was terrible. Hell, fifth quarter was terrible.
Bruh.
Fifth quarter.
Listen, the band, a whole different conversation too. Like that's what I'm saying. The game day experience. I really just wanted to ask people what was good because the team looked bad and everything else looked bad. So what was good about a couple days ago in the first place, right?
It was good to see people. Because
that's right. There we go. You're right. It was good because we got a chance to connect with some people we ain't connect with a long time. That's about it, though, right? And I talked with a former player, man, earlier today, and we was having a conversation. He was like, man, he was disappointed too because he was on the field this past weekend and stuff. And I told him, I say, man, I'm disappointed in us because that game was one of those games where that's when, many times the team, right, gives the fans things to cheer for, like you're saying, right? But there are some games where it's like the fans can will the team to a win, and that was the game for that. This was the game for that because that second and third quarter, things were just lingering. We were right there. We had a chance, man. If we could have just gave the team some energy, right, that game could have been a whole different game. We probably having a whole different conversation. But we are too. I'm the casuals. That's why I call them the PV casuals, right? We are too casual with our fandom, bro. Like we got to learn how to. That's what BG. Honestly, man, we got to learn how to be fans. And I'm realizing that, man, we got to build from the ground up. On the third quarter, bro, I realized. I literally looked around. I was like, I literally said to somebody, I'm like, bro, we sorry. I just couldn't say anything. I'm like, bro, we sorry.
That's just from the fan base. Like we can talk about X's and O's, but from the fans' perspective, it's sad to see people start exiting after the band left. It's sad to see that people did not stay when a little rain hit.
The rain. Like what you
rain hit, bro? Exiting out like, bro, it's rain. You've done worse in the rain. You're gonna get your hair wet. You know what I'm saying? SWAC championship was like, but it just, people aren't dedicated. You paid your money. You paid your good money to travel. You paid your good money to buy t-shirts, the whole nine. They got their money regardless whether you stay there for a second or for a whole 3 hours. They got their money. Also, my wife told me that it was supposed to be camo day for the school to wear. I saw people with yellow, gold shirts, purple shirts, black shirts. Since the theme was camo, my wife had on camo, following the directions. And I told her the other day, I said, look, you go to these other schools when they say it's white, like for Penn State, when they have whiteout day,
it's white.
It's white.
Bro, you need to wear white. If you ain't wearing white, go back to your car, get a white shirt, and come back in.
And come back. When it's Wisconsin and they red, they wear all red. It's a sea of red.
But now I'm gonna tell you, BG. Did the university even know it's camo day? Because I literally saw a post 2 days before the game from the marketing department on the general PVMU site that said wear your best purple and gold. So we ain't coordinated. We're not together, right? You see what I'm saying? So, and first of all, when did they even put the themes out, by the way? Because the answer is they didn't put the themes out, right? We only really heard about the themes because people be knowing people and they just be getting information, but they ain't never put the themes out to know this day is this theme, this day is this theme. That's to be put out ahead of time, but we never market nothing. We just expect in 2024 that people just gonna wake up and be like, oh, you know what I should do? I should go to the PV game. Bro, there's a million things I can do in Houston.
Houston is the spot. Houston is the spot for Sunday fun.
Houston is this, bro. People come to Houston from Louisiana and Arkansas and Oklahoma. Bro, what are y'all talking about right now? And you telling me that with a million things to do in the city, you got your alum, you got fans who. That's why I keep saying, y'all keep saying, I keep hating us alum, keep parroting this foolishness of we ain't got no fan base, of people ain't willing to support. No, we're not willing to accept poor customer service over and over and over and over again. That's what we're not willing to do. But if you
want people to serve, like I saw like one vendor out there selling shirts, right? If you want a certain theme, have them people sell that particular shirt that you want them to wear. Have a particular hat you want them to wear. Sell that particular item, because then they can go back and say, I'm gonna change my shirt in the restroom and really support the school, right? But it was just a very piss poor, and we can X's and O's as well too, bro. It was.
Yeah,
he was a one read and throw quarterback. The run game wasn't that. The defense and special teams did their job. But the quarterback, you pull them after the first half. Then you got a whole other guy. After you name him the starter, you pull him after the first half, show the pads off, wristband still on. So what are you guys doing? What are y'all doing?
Oh man, it's a lot, man. It's a lot. Well, listen, BG man, you already know we get down. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is my hey, listen, this from back in the day, UC. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? UC to Cypress, you know what I'm saying, to Mo City. All right, this is my guy for real, man. I really appreciate you calling into the show, man, and sharing your thoughts. Let your wife know I appreciate her for sharing her thoughts as well. I saw her share online as well, her experience. And man, I'm hoping that really, I'm at the point now where it's like, honestly, like I told somebody earlier, I'm at the point now where, listen, we just some stuff we just gotta do on our own, bro. We just gotta take it into our hands. Now, what I'm not saying is we not about to do nobody's job, right? But some stuff, because I'm looking at these guys, man, on the team that I've been connected with, and I'm like, bro, I know they would appreciate if they could come to the game and see the fans really support them for real, like fans supposed to support them. And so some stuff, honestly, we just gotta do on our own. And so, listen, we working on some stuff there. But again, right, you know what I'm saying? Right now, we ain't talking about solutions yet. But solutions being worked on, but we ain't talking about that tonight. We just letting people vent, man. So I appreciate you, BG. Any last words, man, before I get to Daniel?
No, I appreciate what you're doing for the school, like trying to be the voice of the people, trying to promote Prairie View athletics, and besides football, like I've seen you with the baseball, I've seen you with soccer, I've seen you with basketball. I appreciate what you're doing for the university, man. I really appreciate that.
Man, you know, I do what I do, but watch my shoe. You know what I'm saying? You know how we jiggle around here. But all right, no problem. I'll let you, man. Daniel, man, hello.
Hey, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, we good now. All right, so the call in is also working now again, you guys. So y'all can use the call in number if y'all want to. Obadiah, I see you in the StreamYard, man. I got you up next. Daniel, what's going on, man?
Hey, I want to say one, I appreciate the platform for one. Two, hold on, let me turn off because there's a delay. But I think one of the biggest challenges is that as a university, as well as a fan base, we're learning how to have a stadium. Mm-hmm. And we don't know how as fans as well as an institution. I was as the podcast or your show was going on, I looked at Southern Stadium, right? Southern's had their stadium since 1928. That's 94 years?
That's good. That's a good point.
Grambling, 1981. FAMU, 1983.
That's good.
And here we are, 2016. And for all of us who homecoming heads, TV for life fans, we remember what it's like going to Black Sheep Field when there was no stadium.
That's facts. And we to pack that mug out, though.
Right. Now here it is. I'm a diehard PV. I'm PV, and I've only missed homecoming twice in my entire life, from undergrad, grad, as an alum. Right. Prior to the stadium being built, I never had a chance to sit on the home side. Now, when I say that, this is the context. I'm not salty about it because all we did was watch the game through the gate.
Exactly.
And be like, hey, man, did we win? And then keep it moving. And it was, the funniest thing, I was telling my wife, she was like, hey, you ain't going to the homecoming game? This was before the stadium. And I was like, well, I never went to the game because I didn't know, trying to get up that early and after setting your homecoming out, y'all know how I go. So I think the biggest thing is we have to learn as a fan base and as an institution on how to have a stadium. That's
good. That is good right there. I like that.
And the thing is that, because to me, everybody that was down there this weekend that's been going hard for PV in the stadium and the stands, the season ticket holders, we go hard for PV anyway.
Yes.
And we're not fair weather fans, right? But you're not going to get everybody, because you got to think about, driving down the PV. If you tailgate, you got to think about, okay, I got to put all this money into the tailgate, then I got to get to the yard, and depending on where I'm coming from, that could be 30 minutes at the least, could be an hour and a half at the most, depending on, and you still in the city.
That's true.
So I think the biggest thing is, and I want to offer hope to PV Nation, because just as I remember when RVs first kind of came on the scene, right? You see how we evolved it in as PV Nation, what it's evolved into now? Yeah.
Homecoming crazy.
And this was before, this was basically the fans and PV Nation, our basic ingenuity of figuring it out and making it our own, right? I think the same holds true here. Now, yes, can the university do much better? Absolutely. But, and then as fans, I think the biggest thing is, Southern had 94 years to get it right.
That's good. Yeah.
Grambling had since 83 to get it right. FAMU, same thing. So it's just like, we can get it right. Now, the beauty of it is, even though it's terrible, but as they say, if the most tragic thing you can ever do from a bad situation is not learn from it.
Exactly.
We got to learn from what's going on here and keep pushing, keep having platforms like this. And then as PV Nation, for example, how RVs took off, right?
Yeah.
It's because somebody saw it. I want to do that too. And back to what you said about the experience. Okay, they said, hey, I want to do that. I want to do that too. Oh, I had a great experience. I'm going to do what they did. So it's going to take us, the grassroots PV fans, to show everybody else how this works.
Yep. Daniel, you hitting the nail on the head, man. And I think that's what we've come to the realization of. Because listen, I keep telling people there's a lot of people that support PV. There's a lot of diehard PV fans, man. And I think that's what many of us have realized, and that's why you started to see the different movements, right? Like I said, I mentioned it earlier with I Love PVU, Said, and Jay, man, putting that season ticket holder event together. That was because we saw a need. We say, hey, even though we don't see it coming necessarily from the university, we gonna move it forward, right, and do it because it's a need, right? We need to show people who are season ticket holders we support them. We appreciate you paying money, even though it ain't like they paying it to us, right? You know what I'm saying? But guess what? We want to show them love, right? And I think that's what we are starting to see, that grassroots movement. And the point you make about the stadium is so huge. I think Zay brought this up when I talked to him maybe a couple weeks ago, that this stadium is very new, and we have to realize that Blackshear only allowed 5,000 people in the stadium, right? And so literally you have years upon years where alum not only did they not come back to games, but guess what? They could not come back to games because there literally was no spot for them to come back to, right? They wouldn't be able to get no seats. It was only us as the students at that time who was filling the whole stadium year after year. So we always filled that 5,000 seat stadium. It always was a nice experience then, right? But you got to realize, we do have to realize that, man, we have to train alum, right, to even come back, because it was not available for them for so many years, right? So your point is very well taken, man. We do have to build that, and that's where a part of our and like Jay mentioned earlier, right, a part of our patience has to be there, right? Because we have to train ourselves to become alum that come to games, right? And realize that, hey, listen, it's not just about, one game here or one game there, but we have to build it time over time. And I love what you said. What's really going to have to happen is it's going to have to be a grassroots movement. And the reason I'm about that, right, and why I don't feel a way about putting that energy in is because I know the players are going to appreciate that, man. I know the players' parents are going to appreciate when we grab the bull by the horn and say, listen, we as the grassroots PV Nation, we gonna start creating our own game day experience, irregardless of what the university does, well, bad, indifferent. We are going to create a certain experience in this stadium that makes it to where people who come and get connected with what we're doing, they're going to enjoy themselves and going to at least have something they really literally could point to as positives, right, in this game, to make them say, man, I'm going to come back despite whatever other things still need to be worked on and fixed. And I think that's what we got to start doing and moving forward, right? But again, I know I'm moving into the solution because, listen, like I told you earlier, I'm a solution person. But today not about solutions, okay? But go ahead, man. Any other thoughts you got before we get on? Obadiah, I see you're next, Mr. Curran, and then Zay.
No, my thought is, we just it's communication. I mean, and the communication could be way better at PV. I don't know why social media isn't used more, because the university has to understand our people. We go word of mouth. We'll hear more about stuff will spread more about word of mouth and grassroots quicker than anything else. Mm-hmm. And the next thing you know, if everybody say, hey, we're wearing black today.
Facts.
Then next thing you know, all these people wearing black.
Then we wearing black.
Or homecoming is what we doing. Homecoming. Everybody doing the same thing. Mm-hmm. So that's my thing.
No, hey,
thanks so much. I appreciate the time.
Man, Daniel, I really appreciate you for jumping on and sharing your thoughts, my guy. Happy to hear you. My first time hearing your voice. But hey, listen, keep holding on, because like I keep telling everybody, it's still going to be a movie. Because y'all thinking because we got this show going on that the football team ain't still about to bounce back. Listen, it's still going down this year. So I hope y'all ready for this mood that's going down. Y'all see what shirt I got on, by the way. Y'all think I'm playing. Listen, it ain't over yet. But Mr. Daniel, I appreciate you. Obadiah, man, what's going on? I got you on StreamYard. How are you? Obadiah, you good?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. There you go.
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. I'm glad you got that comment up, because I agree. Like we got to learn how to, have a stadium, but we got to learn how to be fans. Mm-hmm. And I think in order for that to happen, the football team, we ain't talked about the football team yet, they have to learn how to win when the lights on. Like I think we, as close fans of Prairie View football, we've been around and we've seen all the wins over the last couple of years, and that that kind of gets us going or keeps us coming back. But for the average person, whenever they come in contact, or the average alumni or casual, whenever they come into contact with PV, when they see us, we're losing. Like our biggest games have been very disappointing. You talk about last year, the two of the biggest games we had last year were both games against FAMU. FAMU being, homecoming being on ESPNU, SWAC championship. We lose both of those really bad, right? You go through the last, I've been to every home game at Panthers Stadium. I've only missed 2 games. And most of the biggest games have been against Southern. And have we ever beaten Southern?
That's facts. That's true.
Have we ever beaten Southern at home since, Panther Stadium was open? We lost all of those games really bad too, right? 2018, it was like 38-0. 2023, 45-13. And so I just feel like whenever we get a little momentum going and we get people out to the game, we get people excited about it, when they come to the game, it's almost always a really bad experience just from watching the game. Like I like to sit. So I did buy the season ticket this year, but I like to sit at the top. So I ended up going back to the top this year at the Labor Day Classic. And
Right.
I'm looking at the people, and I feel like they want to engage, but man, the game is nothing is going our way. And so for alumni and fans and students of a program who they still for some reason feel it's a losing program, even though we know, right?
Right. We know
They
what
want
we
to
know
see.
the real.
I think they're waiting on a moment to be excited about PV football.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
every time you see it, it's just like, dang, we lost again. Like, how many times do we leave Panther Stadium hanging our heads like, golly, that was bad.
Yeah.
You know, we beat the Valleys and the Alabama States, and
Listen.
nobody was really there to see that. So it don't really matter.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I think
we're very inconsistent at home.
I think it goes hand in hand, right? And and this is why I would say that I agree that it's like you got to work two sides at the same time, right? The team has to learn how to win under the lights, right? And the fans have to learn how to create an atmosphere that makes home a place where you go and win games, right? You know what I'm saying? We don't, and this is where it's kind of hard to completely do it without the athletic department, right? Because for us to really create that home environment that we want to, we got to get them on the same page to say, hey, listen, this place from here to here needs to be students. And if you ain't a student with an ID, you can't sit in these sections because it's student sections, right?
Right.
The band is not going to sit here. We're going to put the visiting team band on this side of the stadium at the top.
Keep them there.
And our visitors are actually going to be on the other side of the stadium at the top. And the twain shall not meet. That's creating an environment that's beneficial, right? Putting our band, you know what? How about we place them right behind the visiting team with our student section right there? How about we do that, right? So every time they blowing on their team. See, that's what a FAMU would do, right? So we also have to create the environment that makes it like that. Like I mean, we just got to create the environment, man. Like, so we got to allow we can't be arguing when people coming in about, hey, can you bring the drum in? Can you not? No, listen, we trying to create the noise, trying to create the atmosphere. Yeah. Let them do that. Howard got bell cows, right? You know what I'm saying? That they use their stadiums, right? That they stadium. Right? So like, we also have to lean into creating an environment that makes it hard to play here, right? And at the end of the day, we have to be different. We can't be like every other SWAC school, right? We can't be like every other MEAC school. We have to think about what we can do here for our culture that's unique to us, that people say, man, you go to PV, man, you're going to have to experience this thing, right? That you're going to hate, you got to experience this, but you still got to fight through that in order to still win the game on the field. Yeah. And that's what we need to me, like, again, because I'm just thinking about the fan side of it now, right? Because we know the football team got to win, but as a fan culture, what can we do as a fan culture to actually help create that environment? And right now, when I looked at the game this past week, it's like we literally said, hey, TSU, just take that side of the stadium and do whatever you want to do with it. That's what we did, right?
Yeah.
For me, I'm like, nah, I'm not going to do that. Why I'm going to let all y'all sit together like y'all congregating like this, y'all family reunion? No. First of all, band, y'all go way up there, way up there on the other side. None of y'all can even sit here because this is where the students going to sit. Matter of fact, some of y'all might have to be sitting over here. Some of y'all might have to go to the home side and sit way at the top of that over there in the middle of us. Yeah. So now maybe y'all feel a way about even cheering because you around a whole bunch of PV people, right? I'm gonna make it hard for you to do what you're trying to do in my stadium, right. You know, but we don't do that, right? So to me, that's listen, and Mr. Greg is saying it here. We need a student section behind the visitors bench. When we listen, a game I went to last year, Mississippi Valley game, that was the first game I seen where the band and the student section was into it. Man, they was getting into it with the opposing team. I'm like, that's the atmosphere you need, right? We saw just a little of it, a slither of it right there, but we need consistency, right?
Right.
Time and time again. But anyway, let me finish sharing your thoughts because I know I kind of jumped in there.
and so it's the home games for one, but then it's the program. So I think, like you said, there's a struggle between the program trying to emerge as true champions and the fans trying to be fans. That, like, I think somebody has to emerge for the other one to come about.
Yeah. Yes. Ooh, that's good. Right.
I had to go. So I did. Like I said,
like that right there.
I went to FAMU twice last year for homecoming and for the SWAC championship game.
Mm-hmm.
And for both games, I'm like pleading with my line brothers, like, come on, y'all, come on, I need somebody to go with me. Come with me. PV gonna win it. I'm gonna tell you why we gonna win it. Boom, 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 boom. I get them excited, and we go to the game, and then it's just a bad show both times. So it's like I think people, I think they want to support, but there has to be some consistency from the football team. That's that. And then I see we talking about the band. I can go on the band all day, but I won't. I think the band needs to. I think the band sounds good. I don't think the band plays what people want to hear.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't. They don't play music that set the environment, in my opinion, that set up the environment the way Texas Southern plays June 27th, and
yeah,
they wait to Swamp. Like they played Swamp in the fourth quarter last year, the other night. I'm like, why not just play? As soon as we kick that field goal at the first kick of field goal, we kick. Play Swamp now while everybody's still here.
Yes.
Don't wait until now. There's nobody here. You playing Swamp. It doesn't have an effect. You're trying to wait and time it right. Just go ahead and get the environment going sooner. That's one thing.
Play Swang before kickoff too.
Play it before. Why are we waiting until the fourth quarter? What are we waiting for? By that time, a lot of times we've been out of the game. It's happened so many times. We out the game. We playing Swamp. Nobody's here. Boo, whatever. But yeah, that's all I got to say, man.
Man, Obadiah, man, I really appreciate it. I think you really laid a gem on us that you got two things trying to emerge at the same time that's fighting to emerge. And one of them has to emerge for the other one to emerge, right? That's such a fire statement that you just made there. And because I feel like that's literally what we just saw this past weekend, right? We have this team that, again, I believe has the talent to get the job done. That's trying to figure things out. You got this fan base that's lingering on how to be fans.
We showed up.
If the fan base would have emerged and gave the energy to the team, I feel like the team would have pulled that game out, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's what you say literally hits so home to me. That's that statement, right? One has to emerge for the other to emerge. And so, but like Mr. Daniel say, right? I think now what we're realizing is, man, we as a fan base have to, from the grassroots, start to make our own choices. I think we have, since we've had the stadium, kind of have stepped back and have believed that because the stadium has been here, that now everything is going to come from this administration standpoint or from a top-down standpoint. And I think we have been disappointed time and time again. And now I think what we realize is, okay, we are going to have to create our own structure. And this is the power I feel like that we talk about grassroots or alum anyway. The truth is, if we all get together and move in a certain direction, the university, listen, they gonna move in that direction at some point, because listen, that's where your alum moving. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So if we start from a grassroots to get on the same page and move one way, listen, you have no choice but to move that way, because that's where your alum is. And we are one of your primary stakeholders, right? You got your current students, but listen, your alum is a huge stakeholder, right? And if we are speaking with one voice, moving in one direction, and especially as real PV Nation fans, right? Because we got casuals, right? We got these casuals, but then we got these real fans. And I think anybody that's listened to the show tonight probably is realizing, and probably is even surprised of how much we got PV fans that really support PV athletics and PV football and PV's programs, right? For real, you know what I'm saying? But we've been through this. But now we got to get together and say, listen, what are we going to create, right? Like my man BG said earlier, listen, we got to start creating our own traditions. We can't even wait for the band to help create the traditions. We got to start creating our own traditions as a fan base, and we got to bring the band along. We got to bring the students along, but we got to bring the university along with us, right? With us, not them bringing us along. We're going to have to create stuff, and we have to bring them along. That's my thoughts on that.
Yeah, that's all I had, man.
Nah, no problem, man. I appreciate you. Mr. Curran, I see you was in the chat. I think you fell off. If you wanna come back in, I can definitely get you on. Until then, Zay, you had a comment. I think you wanted to share something about the band as well.
Yes, sir. So y'all kind of hit a nerve. I'll keep this brief. Last season we go to the championship in Tallahassee, right? So me and my girl, what do we say? She went to Northwestern, by the way, so we got to beat them this week. But so we say, okay, let's get us some tickets. We flew into Destin because flying into Tallahassee is ridiculous. So Destin is 2 hours away. So flying to Destin, get a rental car, drive from Destin in the rain to get to the game. Right? It is terrible. It's like taking country back roads. We get to the game, what have you. What does the band do majority of the game? and I'm trying to keep it cordial. I'm trying to keep it PG, Lionel, because I've never been this upset at a football game. But
Yeah.
man, when I tell you I was hot, we sitting in that little corner, fam, you put us in, and the whole time they on mute. Now,
Yeah.
fam has built all this momentum, right, by playing all they chants. They got the Rattler strikes going on.
Yeah.
The announcer, every time it's a first down, they say down, down, down. You know, they have all these things in cue, and everybody knows that. Now, I understand their coach has been doing this well over 50 years, so it's like second nature, right? But can we get a squeak or something? You know, can we get a neck, or can we get, Swamp is, truthfully, you and I talked about this earlier. Swamp is a band song. It's
Yeah.
not like a football oriented. The lyrics literally say, "We the marching storm, and we gonna keep this on lock." Right? That didn't say anything about football, right? And so I think ultimately this past weekend really kind of, it really highlights, like, I don't know if there's like some internal friction going on, or there's a protest that, they don't feel like they're getting the support, but I just believe you get what you give, first
Yeah.
and foremost, right? Y'all set the tone. Y'all are the largest student organization on campus. And let me take a step back, because you're probably saying, who's this North Texas guy? What does he know? He didn't even go to PV, right? Well, I grew up the Storm was my favorite band. Anybody from Dallas will tell you it's PV Grambling. There's no other HBCUs in our eyes, right? That's what it is when you come up in Dallas. Okay, my big cousin marched. He was a tenor in the box. Okay, my granddad preached the eulogy for Prof Edwards. I'm not speaking from a place where I don't know, right? And for me, I remember that band. I remember that energy. I remember not having the kind of questionable notes. I have to call it for what it is. You know what I mean? And I think they sound great, right? But much like what Obadiah said, just song selection. It was much better this year. Would love to see that improve as well. My other point, and I'm gonna move on to this, is really the macro thing we were talking about, like, how do we handle a homecoming environment, or what happens in the event, we start averaging 14,000 at home. That's a
Yeah.
very real reality for us, because what happens right now, we're about 10,000 students
Yeah.
with a goal to grow to like 15,000 plus. Well, what happens when we win a Celebration Bowl, which we will, and we get there, right? And now we're at 12,000, 15,000 students, and now 7,000 and 8,000 students at least are coming to the game. And then we put another, 6 in from alumni, community, people like myself coming to the games. That's 14,000. That
Yeah.
leaves 1,000 tickets for visitors, and they banned.
Right.
What happens if we're not managing our systems? Currently, we have bad business practices that are not allowing for us to have big games on campus and really just treat people right.
Yeah.
That's the big concern, and I hope it's something that whoever's listening, right? I not nothing personal. I sit courtside at the basketball games, pay for those tickets too. I sit in the 107, have been for 4 years straight. It's not. I'm not like, come talk to me, right? I'll voice my opinion in person, but I think it's something that a lot of us are echoing. And Rich was right. He said in the comments, this is the first time I visibly saw people who were like, I've been doing this a minute. I've been coming to these games, and I'm getting tired,
Yeah.
right? And we're not gonna put up with that anymore. We want change. So, that's what it is. That's all I got, bro. Thank you as always.
I appreciate you, man. And listen, I think people are feeling that way. You can kind of see it on the chat. It's like you start seeing a lot of people like, man, listen, I don't think I'm renewing, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm just like, this is sad, man. We gotta treat people like they paying us money. I just can't get past the part. Like, listen, they paid you money, bro. Like, they paying you money. You can't treat them like dirt. You can't treat them like nothing. Because really, you being saved by the fact that boys just love. Like, listen, we just love our university. We just love the Marching Storm. We just love the football team. Like, we just love to sort of support the volleyball team, the soccer team, we just love to support. That's just what it is. Because if there was an ounce in us that was like, we don't know, you would have been lost us. Because you haven't actually done nothing to keep us, right? It's our connection with the university that kept us. But Mr. Curran, man, I know you've been waiting to jump on. You're now on the stream. Definitely share your thoughts. And again, anybody that's interested in building this fan culture, look behind the scenes of all this, though. We've been having some conversations, so we trying to get some stuff going. So listen, if you're trying to be a part of this, then make sure you hit up pvverseeverybody@gmail.com. If you are a player's parent, like, please hit up the Gmail, right? because we trying to get some stuff going. We about to create our own culture. Like, we ain't waiting on nobody no more. We tired. Because listen, if we can't do it, then listen, it just can't be done at this point. What's going on, Curry, man? Share your thoughts.
Good evening, Lionel. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can.
How you doing, man? And want to remind everybody to like and share PV versus everybody. And but one of my biggest points in being at the game the other day was when it started to miss just a little bit, and it missed it for maybe 2 or 3 minutes. But the fans hit the stands. They hit the Concord so hard that I'm looking up and like, where y'all going? It's just a little miss.
Where y'all going?
Are you football fans? So here I am in the third quarter with 3 other people in the stand chanting defense, defense, defense. All by myself. The fans had cleared the stadium. It was sad. It was sad. The band wasn't playing, but TSU's band was rocking. TSU's fans planted their feet in the stands, put their hands on their butts, and clenched them and sat there. That's the kind of fans that I want in the stands.
Yeah.
It was pitiful.
Yeah.
There were so many other things that everybody else has addressed, but that just heated me up. And we've got to do better. We've got to learn how to be fans. From having our phones in our hands and not knowing who the players are, and the administration not promoting through some kind of app player experiences and player interests and all kinds of other things about the team, as well as being able to order food from your apps and having people to bring food to you as you sit and enjoy the show. Those kinds of things can be implemented. And if you tell me that you can't do it, we have to find a way that we can do it. There's no way that innovation cannot be brought to Purdue. We've had the best engineering and architecture departments in the nation for several years. And I know those guys are smart because we are all smart.
Right.
And after 50 years of losing, I'm tired of it. I'm really tired of it. So I don't know.
That's big, man. It really is just, and I think Jess talked about it earlier too. At some point, it just becomes like, what are you trying to accomplish? Like, what is your goal? And I thought our goal was to average like 10,000 plus fans, 15,000 fans this season, right? But you can't do that if it wasn't like if you can't do that if you don't have systems in place to deal with it right when it comes. You know what I'm saying? And for those, he talked about knowing the players. Hey, listen, if you want to know the players, man, play PV Fantasy Football. I just dropped the link in the chat. We got week 2 against Northwestern State. Make sure you get your picks in right by Friday. All right, you know what I'm saying? But and Athena said here, and I think maybe this is just a connection. And I know we got people from all different classes and stuff, but I feel like those who were here, you know, Athena, her husband's one called in earlier, right? BG, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like so many in our group, right, in our era who was doing that time we won that SWAC championship. I feel like that's what just our minds is different. One, when it comes to like, we have expectations. We ain't in here just like, we ain't go through the 80 game losing streak, right? We got expectations that you supposed to be. I can't look at what we got on campus and what we got access to and then accept that the football team is going to be average. No, that makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? So it's like our expectations are just higher. And then listen, we thugged it out in the cold in Alabama. Listen, we had more fans there than Alabama A&M.
Right.
And it was raining that day. And
the problem is that we've had that period of time where we did win a championship. But before then, it was ugly. You had an 80 game losing streak. And before then, you had the Hoover Wright era where I was there. And when I got there, I think that 74 team went 0-10. And when I left there in '80, that team went 0-11. That was, and there was a lot of losing in between those years, and as well as afterwards. And then the losing streak hit. So there's a culture of not needing to even go to games.
Right.
So you guys were very fortunate in that you established a precedent of winning, and that was great. That essentially led up to the building of the stadium.
Yeah.
But y'all were gone when that stadium was built. So these kids have no clue or no connection to the football team, the university, or the band. We're cultureless as far as that's concerned. You know, you grew up in Louisiana, so did I.
Yeah.
We know what Southern and Grambling are all about.
I grew up down the street from Grambling. Me and my dad went to so many Graham games. Yeah, for sure.
And anytime those bands play, they scored, a touchdown scored, the band plays. First down, the band plays, announcer does something. There's always a cadence. There's the cheerleaders are telling people what to do, when to do it. Our cheerleaders are sitting in the corner with the band, tumbling, and there's no clue as to what to do and when to do it. It is awful.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's just everything is just energyless, right? Like the band, the fans, it's par for the course, right? And I think that's why we have to just make a decision today. And I think this is kind of like us meeting here to get out our last vents, to get our complaints out, to bury the hatchet, and now to just say, all right, we're gonna create our own thing. You know what I'm saying? Like the beautiful thing about not having something specific that you got to stick to is you get to create something from scratch on your own, right? That can be beautiful. You know what I'm saying? So that's the beautiful side. That's the beautiful side of things. You know what I'm saying?
It does need to be in the context of where the university is listening and working with us.
For sure.
And, things like having a better announcer. And I actually thought the announcer did fairly well, except for that blunder that he had when the field goal was being kicked. But there was no, that was. But there was no coordination with the football team, and those kids really deserve a lot better from the fans. When we wanted to change the emotion or the emotion of the field, or what do I want to say? The momentum, of a game. If you want to change the momentum of the game and get those players behind it, you got to be behind them and cheer and be cheering for them. There's no way that a player that's on the field and nobody's in the stands is going to feel comfortable or even good about what they're doing, because they know that emotion is a key. We see it all the time. We talk about Big Mo. Well, we had no Big Mo. We had no band behind them. We had no cheerleaders behind them. We had no fans behind those guys. It was awful. So,
and Zay mentioned it earlier, right? And I didn't say it. And this is no shot to it, right? Because I love Swamp, right? You know what I'm saying? And I think Swamp is a staple. It needs to continue to be played. But Swamp is not it's a band song, really, right? Like, it's not, to me. I think we need to continue to build on the culture that we have, right? Like the Swamp, like, to me, Swang, right, should be a part of that culture, right? But then I also feel like we also need to create some new stuff, right? I really feel, and maybe just because the era I was in, it probably definitely was because the eras I was in, right? So, maybe y'all can take it with a grain of salt. But people in my area, I know you will feel me, right? I keep saying, I wish we would create a chant that co-mingles, right? Southside Thrillers and Mo City Done. We need to co-mingle them two things into a chant specific for PV, that's like the base of our culture. I mean, obviously, Louisiana definitely is a part of this PV culture, right? These three units, right? Louisiana, Houston, Dallas, right? But the foundation, Houston, Dallas, right? You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
that, listen, we need to merge them two things together, create our own unique song. Every time I hear Tuskegee play Ball and Parlay, I think like, man, this would have been such a fire song for PV to have, right? You know what I'm saying? Like PV or TSU, that Ball and Parlay really should be with one of
But
us. You know what I'm
who
saying?
said we can't steal, songs that they're using? That's a part of being in the SWAC. Improving upon and what somebody else does. Uh, it that's the highest form of compliments. So
That's a good point too. So you're making said too many people on sidelines, and I keep hearing about that a lot of times too as well. But man, Mr. Curran, I really appreciate you calling in and sharing your thoughts.
I just want to add, Lionel, that folks need to not only complain on the show and on Facebook and other social media sites, but write those letters to the president and to the AD, because they need to hear your voices. And at least you have the documentation and satisfaction that you did put your 2 cents and you voted. And hopefully people will continue to come to the games rather than being turned off, because some of these first customers experiences that people are having, that I'm seeing, and they're talking about not ever coming back, I hope that doesn't happen, but I see it happening.
Yeah, listen,
So.
I mean, it happens all the time when people have a bad experience, and you can't affect that. If you don't take care of the bad experience, right, you can't affect that, right? And that's all I'm trying to do is show like, hey, there's a disconnect, and we need to bring it back and realize that we need to fix the bad experience, okay? We need to fix the bad experience. And when we do that, listen, PV has over 80,000 alums. Y'all understand it? This is, and we talking about graduated alum. We talking about 80,000. We're not even talking about all the people who came here for 2 years or 3 years or 1 year and never graduated, right? That's probably like 160, 200K. You see what I'm saying? So we got a whole bunch of people that's connected with PV, and a lot of them in Houston and Dallas and San Antonio area, all around. If we created a game day experience that people would love and appreciate, we wouldn't stop people from coming every weekend to come to cheer and come be a part of the atmosphere, right? So we have the ability to do it. And like Rich say, we do have to have the alumni come along. I mean, the department come along with us, just like you saying, Mr. Curran, as well, right? It's impossible for us to be able to do all of this by ourselves, right? You know what I'm saying? So the athletic department definitely has to make attempts to improve things. But again, right, at some point, I mean, right now, until we can move them in that direction, some stuff we just have to say, all right, listen, well, at least this right here, this is what we're going to do on our own. You know what I'm saying? We're going to do this on our own. And I know the university will listen and will move, because that's no different than Mr. Rogers setting up what he set up for homecoming for those few years, and then a university coming on top of that and say, man, that works. We're going to in and walk into that experience of what we see that works. So the university will follow suit if they see grassroots that we doing something that makes sense, right? And so I just think, unfortunately, right now that's where we at. We have to do something that makes sense and then bring the university along. But Mr. Curran, man, I really appreciate it.
All right, you take care, Lionel, and I'll continue to watch the show. No
problem. So man, with that being said, man, I think we got everybody in. Nope, we got no more callers here. And so, listen, this is a simple one that needs to be done immediately. Like, this is so simple, right? You know what I'm saying? But listen, if you're interested, you know what I'm saying? If you're interested in what we've been talking about tonight, if you see that, man, PV, listen, we really do got the ability to do something great. I see Athena has already said she would share her expertise, right? In her connection. Jess has already talked about her being connected, right, and sharing her abilities, right. We got other people who are in the chat who are part of all different organizations and PV support groups who are talking about building, right. Listen, we're seeking to put our heads together and build a fan culture that, like I say, first and foremost, right, it creates an environment and atmosphere that we would appreciate and we would ourselves love. Like, man, that game was awesome, right? We had a great time. We had a great experience with one another. So it would do that. And most importantly for me, the players will appreciate it, right? Because they will see a fan culture that's building and be able to say, you know what, man, I feel like I'm playing for somebody. I'm playing for these guys on the field, but man, I'm also playing for them. And I feel connected to the nation. And I think we can do that. We have the ability to do that, right? And this don't have to be something that we got to wait next year to do, next year to see, next year for what the department does. No, we can do some of this starting this year. We still got 4 home games left. And we got 3 weeks to prepare for this next one, which is going to be a big one. It's a huge one, right? And so if you down and you trying to really connect and be a part of what we trying to do, hit up the email, right? We're already working on some stuff behind the scenes. Like I say, it's not the solution show, but we always about solutions. You feel me? Because we're really trying to get some stuff going, right? And we would love for you to bring your thoughts to the table as well. So yeah, hit up the email address, man, and we're gonna get it. So appreciate all y'all for joining the show, man. I know this was a super long one, but it was important, and so I appreciate my wife for letting me go long because I know this one was super important. And yes, listen, if you are a supporter, if you are a parent of a player, man, I already know y'all want to bring that energy. Please hit us up, right? Because we definitely got to get y'all connected with what we trying to do and what we trying to build right now to build this fan culture. Because, like I say, it's really gonna have to be a grassroots effort on what we're trying to do right now, right? And we can't wait, right? We got 3 weeks we got 3 weeks to the biggest game of the season. Then after that, it's 1 week to the next biggest game of the season because we got to win this SWAC championship this year, right? And so we're trying to formulate some plans. Please hit up the email, man, and we're gonna get it. Yes, sir. Be about the PV Nation. I like it. You know what I mean? We have another large freshman class with easy shoulder load assistant. And listen, Ricky, hit up the email, bro. We trying to do some things. But I appreciate y'all, man. Until next time, listen. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. If you're not subscribed to the channel, bro, come on, show some love. Go and subscribe to the channel. Also, if y'all are not aware, right, we do have memberships available, right? And we're going to be doing some special things for our members, right? You know what I'm saying? We're going to be doing some special lives, right? We break down film, some special lives, talking about fantasy, etc. So, you know, make sure y'all show some love. If you want to be a membership, it will definitely support the channel. And like I said, we're going to be doing some special things for members specifically, right? You know what I'm saying? Especially as we get into some of the other sports and seasons, right? So showing some games live, etc. So if you want to be a member and support the channel, please definitely look to do that because we got it going. EA, I appreciate you showing up to the mass meeting 2.0. Hey, listen, sometimes we got to have the mass meetings with the family and have that conversation. Make sure you like the channel. And yes, conversations like this are needed to create change. And so we appreciate it. But until next time, listen, now that that's out the way, listen, we still win the SWAC championship this year. Like, let's not get it twisted. Just because we got problems we trying to fix, don't mean we ain't win the SWAC championship this year. So don't listen. Now that I got it out of my system, I'm back. So until next time, man, y'all about to get it tomorrow. So y'all make sure y'all on the stream. Holla at y'all.